Have you ever heard the old African folktale about the quiet river? The villagers thought it was weak because it flowed so gently, but one day a great storm came, and the raging rivers all overflowed and caused destruction. The quiet river, however, swelled just enough to protect the village, revealing its hidden depths and strength. This story reminds me of a woman named Amara. When Amara, a brilliant and kind woman from Nigeria, married into the wealthy Thompson family, they saw her as little more than a poor girl who hit the jackpot. Her husband, Michael, seemed to love her, but his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, were a different story. They treated her like a charity case, making snide remarks about her background at family dinners and giving her hand-me-down designer bags that were seasons old. They'd say things like, "You must be so grateful Michael saved you from your simple life." Amara never said a word back. She would just smile, a calm, knowing smile, and continue to be a supportive wife and a loving daughter-in-law despite their coldness. She helped Michael with his business proposals, proofread his emails, and even suggested market strategies that led to huge successes for the family's tech company. But to the Thompsons, she was just a pretty, quiet girl from a faraway land. They had no idea she held a master's degree in business administration from a top university. For years, she endured their subtle jabs and condescending tones. She thought her love for Michael was enough. But over time, the constant disrespect, coupled with Michael's failure to stand up for her, began to chip away at their marriage. He started echoing his parents' sentiments, suggesting she was lucky to have him. The love faded, replaced by a cold distance. The day Amara realized she was more of a decorative object than a partner was the day she decided to leave. The divorce papers landed on the polished Thompson family dining table like a bomb. Michael laughed it off. "She has nothing," he boasted to his parents. "She come crawling back in a week." His parents nodded in agreement, already planning who their son should date next. They were so sure of her dependence on their wealth. Their lawyer was equally confident until he saw the documents Amara's legal team presented. There it was, in black and white. Years ago, before the company became the giant it was today, it was struggling. Michael was about to give up. Amara, seeing its potential, used her entire inheritance from her grandfather, a successful cocoa trader back in Nigeria, to invest. It was a massive, risky injection of cash that saved the company from bankruptcy. In return, she secured a 40% stake. She had been a silent partner all along. The very foundation of the Thompson family's fortune was built on the money from the poor girl they had looked down on for years. The revelation sent shockwaves through the family. 40%. She wasn't just a shareholder. She was the largest single shareholder. She held the power. She could force a sale, liquidate assets, or even appoint her own board members. The company they had built their entire identity on was now at her mercy. The sneers and condescending looks vanished instantly, replaced by sheer panic. Suddenly, Mrs. Thompson was on the phone, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. "Amara, dear, we had no idea. Why didn't you tell us? We've always seen you as our own daughter." Mr. Thompson, a man who had never given her the time of day, sent a text. "Let's talk. We can work this out. We're family." Even Michael, who had been so arrogant just days before, showed up at her new apartment, begging for forgiveness, promising to change. But Amara just smiled that same quiet, knowing smile. She wasn't seeking revenge. She was simply claiming what was rightfully hers. She wasn't the quiet, gentle river they thought they could control. She was the deep, powerful current that had been carrying them all along. The moral of the story is simple. Never ever underestimate the quiet ones. They are often the ones holding all the cards. Their silence isn't weakness. It's power waiting for the right moment to be revealed. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.